Yo, what's up guys? Teacher Paul here, and today we have a coffee request. If you want to request a video, click over here or go on to Buy Me a Coffee. The link is in the description, and thank you so much for your support. Guys, today's video comes from Whiplash. And Whiplash says, this is a story of an island outside Stavanger that was fully transformed to become a tropical island. Wow, really? A massive and expensive project done by private people. It's hard to find the right video to explain this, but you have reacted to this guy before and you were happy with it. So let's check it out. Guys, this is from a channel called Life in Norway. And let's check this out. Let's see what this is all about. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and let's go, guys. Let's check this out.
This is Flor or Fjære, a tropical island paradise near Stavanger, Norway. Yes, you heard me right.
Wow.
I'm in Norway right now. These tropical gardens have shot to the top of my must-do list for anyone visiting Stavanger. From the boat trip here to the incredible variety of flowers and trees, the wonderful colours all throughout the gardens, to the locally sourced lunch that's served in the middle of a jungle restaurant. Keep watching to discover the story of this remarkable place. But first, this story begins back in Stavanger city centre.
Stavanger.
Good morning from Stavanger. I'm here in the Radisson Hotel in downtown Stavanger, and I'm just hanging around, pretty much waiting for my 11 a.m. departure to Flor or Fjære. This is the reason I've come to Stavanger for this trip, and these tropical islands are often referred to as the Garden of Eden of Norway. That's some impressive billing, so I'm looking forward to seeing whether it lives up to the hype or not. It's about a 15-minute walk from here to the ferry terminal, and the weather forecast is not great, but the sky looks clear at the moment, so fingers crossed it'll stay dry for the ferry over to the island and then the walk around the gardens.
Nice.
Not far from Stavanger, you'll find the small island Sørhilde. The gardens are located here on the island's northern tip, and it's just 20 minutes by ferry from central Stavanger. That line through the island isn't a road bridge, by the way, it's actually an undersea tunnel, so this really is an island. After a quick walk through the city, thankfully a dry one, I arrived at the dock and was quite surprised at the number of people waiting for the ferry. A few minutes later the ferry arrived and we boarded the Helgøytinden, a very comfortable passenger ferry for the 20 minutes ride to the island. If you've ever taken a small passenger ferry in Norway before, you'll know what to expect. My favourite spot, the open top deck.
I love the ferry in Oslo. That is so weird that I'm getting ads. I think I'm not... Okay, I'm on the wrong account. Because... yeah, I'm on the wrong account here. Okay, let's go back to that video.
This is Flor or Fjære, a tropical...
Let's go.
Thankfully a dry one, I arrived at the dock and was quite surprised at the number of people waiting for the ferry. A few minutes later the ferry arrived and we boarded the Helgøytinden, a very comfortable passenger ferry for the 20 minutes ride to the island. If you've ever taken a small passenger ferry in Norway before, you'll know what to expect. My favourite spot, the open top deck. I really enjoyed the view of the city disappearing behind us and the changing island landscape as we sped through the water. Upon arrival, you pick up one of the guided tours. The vast majority of passengers on board actually joined the Norwegian language tour, but I opted, with a few others, for the English tour. It was a much smaller group. Our friendly local tour guide Robin began by explaining how this fascinating place came to be.
So everything out here started back in 1965. Back then there was nothing out here. There were no trees, there were no flowers.
Wow.
What we had a lot of was rocks and boulders, some really bad soil, and a lot of cold, harsh northwestern wind that was constantly blowing over this part of the island. So all in all, this place was not a very fun place to spend your time.
But one local had a vision. Osmund Breen bought land,
that's what I said,
built a cabin, and began to plant a cottage garden. As the garden flourished, Osmund's sons joined the effort too. The family overcame significant challenges such as poor infrastructure and logistical problems to expand the gardens. Over time, Flor Fjære grew into a locally renowned garden, one which began to attract visitors from across Norway and even further afield.
And at the beginning of the 90s, both Osmund and Olav started to receive phone calls from complete strangers the call to asks they can maybe come out here and check out the garden for themselves. So in 1995, Olav and his wife Siri, they decided to open up the garden to the public, came up with the name Flor and Fjære, so Flor for flowers, and Fjære means low tide in Norwegian, and in Norwegian it's this clever play on words. In English it does not make much sense, unfortunately. And they're expecting maybe around 2, possibly even 250 guests that summer. And then Åsmund and Olav, they were going to show the guests around the garden, talking a little bit about how this all came to be, while Siri, she had decided she was going to make fish soup for all of the guests. Well, that first year, they had well over 600 guests that came out here, so a little bit more than expected. And Olav and Siri, they decided to really focus on this garden forward, just to see if it would eventually take them.
How many people go there nowadays?
Second year we had open, in 96, there was over 7,000
guests. Oh my goodness, wow.
And the first thing that happened then is that Siri, she demanded we hire a chef, because this is way too much soup to make by yourself. And since then, this garden has just kept on growing and growing. And today, the property out here is about 70,000 square meters, with close to 60,000 square meters of planted lawns and flower beds. And on average today, we have close to 42,000 guests coming out here each season.
The guided tour included various zones, including...
Man, I love the professionalism of this video. You know, very well made, very well narrated. Bob Tarzan says, Anger means fjord. So Stavanger is the fjord of Stav. It's the Stav fjord, in a way. Loads of places in Norway ending in ang, anger, or angen, gratangen, kjavengen, lavanger, and Lake Langer. Okay, makes sense.
Coming out here each season.
The guided tour included various zones, including a bamboo garden set around beautiful ponds with a winding path leading down to a Japanese garden featuring a relaxing koi pond. Another favourite spot is the exotic garden filled with roses, lemon trees, stunning angel's trumpets, and banana plants that are extremely rare
Angel's
for Scandinavia.
trumpets.
And then we came to the beach.
Wow.
And we opened up the beach garden in 2016. And when we first decided to make a garden up here, we had no clue what type of garden to make. The only thing we knew for sure was that we're going to try out something new. And then Olav, he started talking about how we wanted to have a beach up here. Not just a regular beach. No, that would be boring. We have plenty of those in Norway. This is going to be a tropical beach with waterfalls, white sand, palm trees, a beach bar.
This is so cool.
The whole package.
So
what they managed to create here is just fantastic. We didn't have the best weather on our visit, but I can imagine on a sunny day with the beach bar open, yes, a beach bar, this would be a really popular place to be while on the island. Before the end of the tour, Robin explained that as the flowers are moved into the greenhouse during the off-season, every year they essentially start with a blank canvas for 50,000 flowers.
Wow.
Opened in 2022,
that's a lot of work. Wow,
the new greenhouse allows Flor Fjære to grow all its own flowers, collect and use the rainwater, and even grow the herbs that are used in the meals. This is becoming a really sustainable operation here. Speaking of meals, with the guided tour over, it was time to enter the jungle greenhouse. With a name like that though, I had no idea what to expect. What I found was exactly as advertised. It was a jungle restaurant in Norway.
Nice.
Our group was shown to a quiet part of the greenhouse and served some snacks and drinks while we waited for the meal. The meal is included in the package when you visit Flor Fjære, and it might vary of course, but the menu I was served was a delicious creamy fish soup packed with flavour, beautifully presented halibut, and then locally produced ice cream, followed up by coffee of course. This meal was genuinely great and better than anything I had back in the city during my stay, and a lot of it came from the land and waters of this island. A visit to Flor Fjære is not cheap, but personally I think it's good value considering it includes the transport, a guided tour, and
1,890. How much is that in British pounds? I normally divide it by 14. So 120 something?
a guided tour, and a 3-course meal. And I would happily pay it again to come back. I know lots of my family and friends who would absolutely love it here. After the meal, you get some free time to explore the island. If you find yourself waiting for the ferry before the departure time, pop into the small cafe and gift shop down by the port. Here you'll find some really nice t-shirts, mugs and other souvenirs from Flor, Fjære, which of course you can only buy on the island.
Wow, what a place. I've just got 1 hour or so left on the island before I have to take the boat back to Stavanger. So it's time for me to put the camera down and just have one more walk around this remarkable place. If you are coming to Stavanger, I do highly recommend a visit here. It isn't cheap, but I think it's well worth the price. And if you are planning a visit to Stavanger, check this video out next for my suggestions on some other things you can do while you're in the city.
150 euros.
Thanks for watching.
That is quite expensive if you ask me. Like, it's on the steep end. Really nice video, and it's so nice. The Garden of Eden. That's Fjord og Fjære. Flor og Fjære. Really nice. It would be such a nice place to take my wife, and you know, just a really nice day out. But at 150 per person, that's steep. I remember when it was like half. Yeah, when I went to Oslo, I divided everything by 14. I don't know how much it is now, but I think 1 British pound at the time was 14. So yeah, that's what it was back then. Hi, Krosmar. Hi, Maria. Hi, Kari. Good evening. Many Norwegians spend the summer at home, at the cabin, or with relatives. You should go to Brazil during summer. Wait, that makes no sense. That makes no sense. You should go during winter. Never mind. If you want to enjoy summer and the heat, I would say. Anyways, never mind. Hi, Julia. It's perfectly fine to spend so much money on this experience. Yeah, I guess so. It is. It's worth. Sometimes it's worth it when you spoil yourself a little bit. Spoil your wife or husband. It's you know, it's not always that you can spoil yourself and splurge, but you know, but still. Can't imagine paying like 150 per person. Like that's 300 in one weekend, or actually one day. Oof. Yeah. Anyways, guys, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you, Whiplash, for this request. If you want to request a video just like Whiplash, go over to Buy Me a Coffee, click over here, or click over here. Brazil during Brazilian summer sounds like torture. I mean, if you don't like the heat, you know, 40 degrees, 45 degrees, then yeah, maybe it's not the best time. Click over here or click over here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care now. Bye-bye.